Ladies and gentlemen, we're live here on teamfortress.tv. It is ESEA Season 25, Week 4, Velocity Esports, taking on Meat Market. My name is Cornpop, here with Marxist and Nicell on production. Marxist, how is it going? I just sat down.
Well, we've had a really long wait for this game, and we've also been able to keep eyes on the score. The other game we were supposed to be casting, but between camera folks not being around and yes, STV problems, we've not really been able to do anything with that. So we'll be bringing you a pretty cool game, though. Maybe not as high prestige as a Froyo game, but I think this one's going to be really, really good, Cornpop.
Yeah, I think both these teams are actually somewhat close in skill. Obviously, they're not as high caliber as the other game, Froyo versus Faint Gaming, and I wish we could have covered that one too. But I still think it'll be close. These two teams, they're kind of like battling for that 4th place spot to get into playoffs. It's going to be tough. Certainly, I think by my predictions, I'd put these teams probably 5th and 6th, but definitely close to each other. And definitely having a shot at taking out either No Mercy or Faint Gaming to claim that final spot. But I think this will kind of be a really important match because it'll show who is still in contention for that playoff spot. Obviously, Week 4, we're in the middle of the season. A lot of stuff can change, a lot of stuff can happen. But at this point, I feel like if you lose this match right here, you're going to have a really tough time getting into playoffs going forward.
Yeah, unless you run the table and just win every match all the way out, You're pretty much finished. So this will be a deciding match for these two teams, and it's on Viaduct, which is nice because traditionally, Cornpop, we've used Viaduct as the ultimate tiebreaker. So here we go. We also have some roster changes to bring up, so we'll just talk about that briefly. And Cornpop, I'll let you pick a roster and we'll go to it.
Yeah, well, on Meat Market, they're the ones who have changed up recently. They're going to have Zeep on Medic, May on Demo Man, Fruit and Bro King are their soldiers. Cheesy MacGyver is their one scout, and the other scout is You Must Mike, coming in now since the last time we've casted them in for Jinx was their previous scout, and he's no longer on the team, and now we have You Must Mike playing for them. So, guy doesn't have a ton of invite experience, but he has played before. Marxist, do you recognize that name?
You Must Mike is a classic member of the old blank teams, which you could call them whatever you would like to call them. Meat Clowns would be a popular name for them as well. So he's been around for a long time as Mike. He's a very interesting fellow to talk to. He's a good friend of mine, I'll say. And although we disagree about the status of Granary and G-Pit. And he was at one time, although I talked to him before this match, and he said, quote, "I am washed up." So who knows? Maybe he is washed up, but hopefully he's not. He also used to be called a healed bot. I'm told to get with the page there, but it doesn't matter because we're live now. The other team, I'll just run them down real quick here. We got Bear on Medic, Jarrett on Demo, Marmaloo and Kryptonite are your soldiers, Sam and Shamu are the scouts. And that's the other side. So we'll just talk about this going in now. This will be the first big mid. You want to win it, Cornpop. I'll let you take it away.
Lots of important stuff to watch for here. Watch who gets the good damage, go for the bombs. We'll see how it plays out for both the teams. Nobody getting aggressive just yet, but here comes the first bomb. It is from Fruit. He's going over the enemy Team Concrete, and they're getting a lot of frags on the side of Velocity Gaming. Look at all these players are killing. It's only Zeep and Cheesy MacGyver alive, and they are very separated. There goes the medic, and it's only Cheesy. He's running around. He really wants to get that med pick. That's the only thing he can do to save his team in this situation, but there's no way. There's 5 players in between him and the medic. He's running back to his spawn, and he'll be okay.
So another thing that's important there is because of the way spawn timers work in this game, basically after his whole team wiped, Cheesy had to decide what he was going to do right then and there, and he made the great escape. But now we're going to see likely the classic Viaduct suicide play, Cornpop, to try to get that Uber out of them. In goes one soldier, bombing at the med, not really too effective. He is going to get forced though. So there you go, Bear will get forced out. It does require 4 players, possibly 5. Yeah. So they sacked everybody there except Zeep. Typically, you don't want to do that. but they hung out long enough. So now you just try and wade your way back in, get some point pressure, maybe get some frags, and then if that doesn't work out, then you'll just use your Uber. And Cheesy goes down to a sticky trap straight away. So that's going to put them in kind of a bad situation, but Jared is going to go down, but it doesn't matter because Bro King and Burns are going to go down as well. And You Must Mike also, so this Uber will go to waste, or at least the Uber, and Zeep's going to die inside the left side door, we'll call it. And that will be the end of that, so a complete botch from Meat Market.
Yeah, they do now have 2 soldiers up alive, and I'm betting they're going to try and bomb in onto Bear. Bear just getting 100% now. Of course, Zeep died when he was around 60, 75%, so we'll see. Looks like they're going to respawn all their players, and there goes Burned again, dying to a sticky trap. But Jarrett also going to get punched back from the enemy demo man. Here comes another bomb in from Fruit. He's not going to get anything, gets taken down, and again, this aggression is so much better from Velocity Gaming. Everybody sacked in, but this time they weren't able to sack in onto Bear, and Zeep again stayed alive back at spawn, playing it safe. So just classic, you know, bombing in strat, throwing your lives away, seeing what you can get. This time Bear was able to hold on, so good job by him. We'll see though, this has been pretty decisive so far. 2 minutes already off the clock, Marxist. Now they're trying to make one more push in. Soldiers are jumping around, and they're going to pop the Uber charge off. They want to see if they can get forward onto that medic, and Zeep is all alone being chased in by a scout. Does get pistoled down by Shamu, and there's only 2 scouts left alive on the side of Meat Market, and they're running around. Cheesy MacGyver jumping into the back lines, does have to back off, and You Must Mike as well is trying to push in. He actually is finding Bear, and Bear's a little bit alone here. All of his team has left him, and he's trying to back off. He's so low, and it's just going to get that frag right at the end of his life. Great play by You Must Mike. Finding that medic frag, going to be giving his medic the Uber advantage.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's 30 seconds until this round is won. And they may finally get their first cap. No, they're going to leave it be. So that'll be probably a complete rundown of the clock here before they're even able to get on it. Well, let's see. They're pushing them back well now. So there's 8 seconds left on the clock. For the most part now, Meat Market has to hold this point for 3 minutes straight. They have to do a reverse shutout on Velocity.
It's gonna be tough, but they're trying some sort of a forward hold. It's not really working out for them. They're gonna lose Mike. Shamu gets the frag on him, and as well, Fruit is trying to back off, but he's not gonna be able to get it. Broking as well also goes down. Kryptonite and Marmaloo both got frags in that one, and so you can see they're just coming out. They're getting so much damage down. May is extremely low, and Zeep could be in a little bit of trouble soon. Marmaloo has to back off because he took a little bit too much damage. Kryptonite killed himself just for fun. They're going to be capping off this point, and there's 7 seconds. Mark says this is not going to be possible for Meat Market. Velocity Gaming are going to take the first round. 1-0 early for them, and Meat Market, they got to do something to change this now.
Yeah, their pushes were very ineffectual. Zeep was dying. So as a medic on Viaduct, your objective is to not ever die. And Zeep was getting killed a lot. And it seems like the Meat Market are pretty disorganized, so they need to get it together.
Broken going in for a very fast bomb, jumping onto the enemy team's cliff, just trying to get behind the team, getting a lot of damage onto Jarrett. He's going to be the first one going down to Cheesy MacGyver, and now they're getting all of the frags. It's only Bear and Marmaloo alive, and Marmaloo, you know, where he's in the back line going for something. He wants to get this medic frag, but he can't do it. Cheesy MacGyver takes him down. Meanwhile, the enemy team spawn Broken was chasing Bear back, but Bear managed to survive it. 40% Uber charge, still going to be ad for Zeep.
Yeah, and they're going to set up a real big forward hold here. They didn't execute it so well last time. It kind of ended up being their Achilles heel. But they do have Uber advantage with this. So, in general, my rule here, Cornpop, is if you see the enemy medic, blow the Uber, because you may get the med kill. So far, this is going really well. So this is exactly what you want the forward hold to do, Cornpop, is you want to make that 4-man, 5-man sack impossible. They can't get out of the doors.
So I'm just so confused. Sam tried to push out of the forward hold as Pyro, which is seen a lot. You know, that's a fairly common strat, go to Pyro. But he didn't even have his flamethrower. He just ran out with the power jack. But now the pop's coming out from the blue team and the red team. They're going to exchange as they got a couple of good frags there pushing out of this. So this is going to be a successful push out by the Velocity Gaming crew coming out onto this middle point, and they should be able to cap it off with this numbers advantage without May alive to deal with this damage. But US Mike is staying in pretty deep. He's going to be punished for it, but now we see Cheesy MacGyver also going for something. There's another bomb in by Fruit, and they're all focusing Bear, but Bear's a sliver of health. Sam eats a rocket and just going to be allowed to stay alive. Bear is. He's going to be fine. Looks like Broking wants to finish up on some damage, but The health has been restored. Shamu takes him down fairly easily. That's going to be a point captured by Velocity Gaming.
Yeah, that was an interesting use of respawns by Meat Market, where they knew there were already players down, so rather than bleed out over it, they just ran their sack immediately after, knowing that they'd get quick spawns on the other side and slow spawns on the enemy team in Velocity. So now we're going to watch a slow push, but Bear is very close to Uber. Sam is going to go down as the first casualty, though. Velocity bleeding players are going to pop now. We'll see how many frags they can get. It's a Shamu Uber, and they're going to clean up Zeep as well. That's one of those pivotal deaths I was talking about, Cornpop. You just cannot have that happen. And still, Bear is out. Scot-free is going to make it out. And he kills You Must Mike as he's running away.
Yeah, the Silver Lions, they did get a lot of frags, and they're going to get the point off this, and so now time is in their advantage. So I don't think that was a terrible play by the Meat Market crew. They're going to have basically well, not every advantage. Bear's got quite a big advantage in the Ubercharge department, but otherwise, they're not in a horrible position. We'll see what the play is now. There is a quick bomb in, actually, from the defending team. Broking took an air shot, and actually is going to end up falling to his death from Marmaloo. Now we'll see the bomb in actually going back to their team. We'll see, this is the aggression from Velocity Gaming. We'll see what they can do, but I think they're just going to muscle their way in here. They know they have the super advantage. They're going to find the frag on a Mike. Sam finds it on the flank, and so with that, point's going to be capped off. No real aggression coming out. They do have the Uber disadvantage. Meat Market backing off, playing it passive.
Yeah, they essentially tried a two-man sack there, knowing again that they would have fast spawns and even Uber here. So this will be an interesting scenario, because one of the other rules of Viaduct is every time there's an Uber exchange, you lose about 30 seconds on the clock for the pushing team. Shamu's going to get dropped, though, essentially. The Uber's popped out of Bear. Kryptonite is very hurt, and they are now running away full speed backwards, but Jarrett's trying to make a stand here on the cliff side. Zeep is going to go down again, and they're maybe not even going to be able to cap here. There's a little bit of disorganization from Meat Market. It's a scary place on the point right now, and they are going to allow their med to respawn. Big pressure here from You Must Mike, refusing to die. Took forever to die there, and it's going to end up, though, just being a quick Velocity recap.
Yeah, now Broking went really deep, but Shamu was able to take him down. They haven't got this point yet, but all of the players on Meat Market are dying. Zeep got bombed down by Kryptonite, and that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for that push. They're completely gone. Bear's going to have 100% Uber advantage. They've just been playing this much, much better. They're taking advantage of all the mistakes that Meat Market are making. Last fight, they left their flank open, and Marmaloo was able to find a bomb onto their medics, so they're okay there. They're trying to push out really early under the forward spawn, though. They were trying to set up a forward hold, and it looks like it's going well for them. They've got Fruit and Cheese MacGyver both ended up going down. You Must Mike as well try to get out there. Broking tried to escape, and actually their medic could be in a little trouble. Zeep, why did he come out of spawn so far? Shamu gonna get piped down by a nice pipe from May, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Zeep is dying so often, as you were saying, Marxist, and it's crucial that he stays alive. There's only 30 seconds left at this point. I'm not sure what their hope is. They gotta go in Uber versus non-Uber, and this is a tough fight for them to win.
Yeah, I'd say this round is a wash. Zeep has died too many times at pivotal moments, too far forward, and it's not just Zeep, it's also the team, because the med kind of wants to stay with the group. They do get an Uber force out here, and they're putting time on it, which is not what you want to have happen out of your Uber force. They're actually going to give the point, but there's hardly anybody left from Meat Market. So unless somebody goes absolutely huge, they're going to get 2 kills here. But there's still like a combined 120 health or so on Meat Market. And if they lose this point, it's over for this round. So this is a huge fight. There's the 1v1 from You Must Mike. Jarrett's going to take him out. And they're going to keep walking on up here with player advantage.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to fight this without an Ubercharge on either side. They got to stay aggressive. They let them walk onto this. They are going to lose the round. Finally, now they're getting onto it, forcing off Shamu and Jarrett, killing both of those players. And now Velocity Gaming, they don't really have a lot to fight with. Only 4 players up. Make it 3. Cheese MacGyver runs forward. A lot of players dying. There goes Zeep, who did get bombed in by Marmaloo, who got a crazy good bomb, but not sure it's going to matter. There's 3 seconds left on this clock. It is probably going to go to overtime. Sam's trying to challenge this point, but he didn't have support with him. Now it's only Shamu and a medic. They got to do what they can. Shamu finds 1 frag. Here comes the bomb in by Broking as well, trying to do his best. I think he's going to die, and Cheese MacGyver, the last player alive on this point, he's going to do his best, but he gets eaten by a sticky trap. Here comes another bomb from May, but it's not going to be enough. Marxist, I think that's it. can't get to the point in time. Through barely not able to win that, and you see Velocity Gaming taking it 2-0, a much closer round that time.
Yeah, Jarrett went huge there and just blew away that soldier that bombed on them, because that could have been the end. Almost a big comeback there, but we'll see. Much better mid out of Meat Market last time.
Pushing forward now, Broking, jumping across the point, a lot more pressure, but we'll see if that bites them. Kryptonite trying to get away from the enemy team. Gonna find the first frag onto Broking, goes down, but there goes Marmaloo. A lot of blue players dying on your screen. You see they're still trying to stay aggressive though. Cheese and MacGyver and You Must Mike, they want to keep holding forward, but if Zeep dies here, this will be catastrophic. Finally, Zeep running away, chased in by a soldier. Here comes the bomb from Kryptonite, wants to get the medic right, gets the scout, now still on Zeep, but finally, You Must Mike cleans him up and won't get him this time.
Yeah, that was really dangerous to be 3 down and have your medic still hanging around at mid. But they were not punished as badly as they could have been. It's now an Uber versus Uber fight. We'll see what they decide to do. So far, we've run suicides off of this, but Zeep is very far forward. They hit Bear off of a sticky, and that's going to change the whole face of this now. And should be an easy cap here, considering that they have Uber, but things are getting disorganized. There's pressure coming from Sam, and it's causing them to kind of wander around like they don't know what to do.
I think they're a little nervous. They don't want to mess this up. It should be an easy take for them, but of course, losing their medic or having to get force here would not be ideal. Now Zeep is dodging around. There is a Sam on top of him. He does get the force off. Beautifully timed as Marmaloo was right on top of him. Now they're pushing forward. They're going to do their best with this, but I don't think Velocity Gaming is going to give them much after that. They got 3 frags, which is nice. They got those players that sacked in for them, and it looks like they're going to try to set up a forward hold Marxist. This has worked well in the past. We'll see. Kryptonite is coming in through main, though. Gonna back off. They're not trying to break it just yet. They do have Uber ad, which is the only issue, and Shamu's on Sniper, so we'll see if he can get a crazy pick. He's actually looking right at the medic and gets the fully charged body shot onto Zeep. Goes down. They had no idea there was a sniper there. They didn't have the awareness to be able to spot that out, and so Zeep was wide in the open. Bear now just getting his Uber charge. They should be able to push out of here. They caught Broking, who was trying to hide. This is great for them so far. They're still trying to get these frags, but Bear is going to get forced as a lot of his players were very low. They're going to get so many frags for it, though. I don't think it even matters. Zeep all alone, nobody to heal. They're going to take this point fairly easily for Velocity Gaming.
Yeah, the only tragedy there is Zeep had that respawn coming now, and so somebody probably should have gone back to hang out with Zeep, because now what should have been Uber advantage is Uber disadvantage. And now Meat Market has to make a straight up push fight here. No Ubers involved. And that can be pretty tough. They're slow pushing it in, but there's a flank from both sides. That's Marmadog and a scout. It was Sam, and Sam is still getting the frags. And that is going to be a wipeout, it looks like. They do manage to kill Bear in the interim, though, so that's like the one saving grace. But Velocity handled that very easily.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice flank. There was just no pressure on the left side from Meat Market, and it was able to happen for them. Look out for Sam. He's actually hiding. If he came out right now, he'd be on the medic, but a soldier bombs him, and he's actually still on the medic. Zeep, so much trouble, and he's going to go down right as that rocket connects on a Sam. So great job by him to be able to hide in connector and still find the frag onto Zeep. Zeep has died so many times here. Sam throwed out some insults in the chat, and yeah, they're going to be getting their respawns now. It's going to be 40 ad about for Bear, as Zeep is just spawning now, so they should be able to break out. There's no forward hold, so they're going to be able to walk straight out on here, and they also have the time advantage. Velocity Gaming, they don't have the point right now, but they're looking so good to retake this.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. They're trying to push up now, because the situation that Bear wants is to hold this point and have Uber, but Marmadog is going to drop down now. They are getting pressure up on the point, but oh, Zeep is going to go down again to Kryptonite. Kryptonite going to get a lot of frags. Fat Sam going to make his way in there as well, and that's an ace. They just pushed him straight up and killed them and did not have to pop Uber. That's Harlem Globetrotters theme time.
Yeah, there's not many ways that could have gone better. I'm pretty sure that's like the best case scenario for them. You Must Mike tries to run out through choke, does end up going down, and Cheese MacGyver also tries for that one, but all of them failing. And Zeep died again. Sam managed to wiggle his way in. I didn't even catch that, but Why? He just needs to be staying in spawn at this point. He's dying so often when his team's trying to sack out, break out of this forward spawn when they don't have the super charge. 30 seconds left. I mean, this is where we said it was a wash last time, Marxist. They did manage to come back and make it close. Can they do it a second time?
Yeah, Sam with some pretty excellent and pertinent trash talk in the chat. And Cheesy's gonna go down. See, now they're the victims of the forward hold. The Uber comes out. This is the right decision to make. You see ZP pop that Uber. Bear played that perfectly. There is a demo fight, but it's demo versus everyone. May's not strong enough to solo an entire team, and that'll take us to halftime.
Yeah, and there's been moments from Velocity Gaming, but I mean, we've been talking about it the whole time. The biggest problem is the meta keeps going down. We can look at some stats. I'm wondering how many times he's died. Marks, do you have a prediction for how many times this guy died?
Lots.
Lots.
Here we go. Where is the stat? Okay, Zeep. We have 16 deaths, which would be as many as Cheesy MacGyver and May the Demo. So May the Demo, so normally your medic and demo deaths are pretty close together, but it's weighted on Viaduct because the demo's gonna sack in. So the demo should be dying a lot more. Let's compare, shall we? We have Bear, 4 deaths. Zeke, okay. 16. So you can actually multiply one number together to get the other. That's a losing situation.
Zeep has as many deaths as Kryptonite and Shamu combined. 9 plus 7, 16.
Man,
and that's your roamer too. No, Kryptonite's pocket. Okay, still though.
Yes.
Your soldier on Viaduct. Plus a scout. Ugh.
They're having major positioning struggles. And that's part of the big problem. The other part of the big problem is when they're in even fights, it looks like Meat Market is very disorganized. They don't have that much of a plan. And so when Velocity is actually playing in a fairly older style where I call it the buddy system. Now it does appear, are we going live again? Yes.
We are, yes.
So they play with the buddy system, so you will always see Sam and a soldier, usually Marmadog, together. And when they get behind, no one deals with it.
We'll see coming to the second half how they want to have changed their strategy. Meat Market need to do something here in this next mid-fight. They've gotten a lot of aggression, but no frags just yet. Here comes a bomb in, finally by Kryptonite. You must Mike gonna be the first one going down to Jarrett. Kryptonite and Fruit both gonna end up going down. Broking as well, taken out by Shamu. Marmaloo is still in behind, but finally gets taken out by Cheese and MacGyver. Velocity Gaming seem to be taking this one, but Medic stayed alive on both sides, so that's an upside for Meat Market. Good for them, and I just want to quote on the other match, the Froyo versus Faint Gaming. It is 3-3 at the moment.
Oh, well. What a shame we can't watch it. Anyways, so here we go. We'll try to keep you posted on the results of that match as they come in. And, hey, look, Zeke survived. And they did get the force out of Bear. No one's coming to flank right now, it looks like, but they are bleeding pretty heavily on the other side here. And they're all going... Well, see, here's a situation where maybe someone from Velocity should have tried to flank, but instead they pulled back because they're scared of the Uber. So we'll see what an Uber versus no Uber push can do, but Meat Market is already at a minute deficit.
Sam's in pretty deep. Marmaloo's following him up. Sam didn't get anything. Mike took him down, and Marmaloo as well didn't get anything. Well, he got fruit. That's something, I guess, a soldier trade. Still, the Uber charge has popped forward now that we're not watching the flank, but Bear looks to be safe and sound behind 4 of his players. Jarrett got pretty low, but wasn't taken down. Mike is still pressuring in here, and Shamu's going to find the key frag on a Broking. Kryptonite, there goes Bear. Finally, Cheese MacGyver has run in and gotten 2 frags. Mike got the last one onto Shamu. Sam is still trying to run in forward. May they get taken out by Jarrett. Sam got nothing as he ran forward except for the shotgun of You Must Mike. So it's Marmaloo still here on the fight. He's going to be going in for the bomb onto the Demo Man, but it gets thrown up into the air. Cheese MacGyver takes him down.
Yeah, and a smart thing that came out of Meat Market there was they had a player down, Burned died early in the push, and they waited to cap until Burned respawned so that they would have the largest number of players to hold as possible. So now here we are in this locked up forward hold they've been doing, and they are running the sniper. Shamu got the big kill with it last time, and we'll see if any response comes. They have blocked this pretty well. They may shift their forward hold over to Cliff, because it is much safer over there for the med. But no, they're shifting back around. So now this forward hold is amorphous. But the Pyro is out here very beat up. They're going to go ahead and pop Uber, which is just as well, really, in the eyes of Velocity Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 3, but that's certainly worth it for that Uber charge. Marmaloo was able to perfectly sneak in and bomb on a Zeep. Good for Zeep for popping that one off, but still not exactly what you want. Good responding to the sniper as well. Last time they didn't even look at choke, but this time they were watching it and they were able to correctly counter that sniper. Once you know it's there, it's pretty easy to position yourself, but it's all about the knowledge. And we have seen Velocity Gaming break out of this forward hold. Of course, no Uber side on the side of Meat Market, so pushing forward now. The blue Uber charge has been popped off. They're running forward, and they're not getting anything with it, Marcus. I didn't even see why they popped it. I guess they thought they could get something, but nobody is here. Is there a player in behind? There is. Fruit is trying to do some damage back here on Cliff, but he's got to take on Shamu, who's battling him. They're still fighting here on the point. Sam going to go down that one to Broking, and finally the bomb in from Fruit. Didn't get anything, but Jarrett is very low, and he's trying to wait for an arrow. Not going to get it in time. Cheese MacGyver pistols him down, and this is going to be a cap-off once again from the Meat Market squad. They're going to cap it right as soon as Velocity got it from them. So now 5-on-5 at the moment. It is still 100% from Zeep. He actually never popped it in that, so he just got it at the end there. We'll see if they want to do any sorts of sack plays from Velocity Gaming, but it's going to be tough for them coming up against this full Uber charge. Here comes Marmaloo, and they're actually really far forward. Zeep gets thrown down to very low health and does have to pop it off. Marmaloo kills himself. Kryptonite as well gets taken down. They even lose Mike in this Uber charge. This isn't what they want, but they're getting a couple of frags for it, I guess. Bear went down. That's the really big one I missed, but nice job by them. They're going to be able to hold on to this. It's not too bad for them. There's only 30 seconds left.
Yeah, they're holding just fine right now. That wasn't a bad pop out of Zeep really overall, because as long as you kill the enemy medics and don't die afterwards, then everything is okay. Now, a big tide comes in from Velocity Gaming. They're speeding it up over here. And Zeep is going to die to Marmadog. Andy's going to get You Must Mike as well. And now they're just sacking in for Bear. Bear's trying to madly surf, do anything he can. He is very low, 33 health, trying to make it out. Going to get a health back. And here comes the scout right in his grill. But he's going to dodge away, surviving with 51 health. The health pack and careful use of map geometry saves Big Bear's life there.
Yeah, like 3 separate players had opportunities to kill Bear, but Bear had the jukes, and he's able to survive another day. 80% Uber charge from him. He's got to survive a few more seconds, and as I say that, May takes him down with a pipe, so that's going to be big ad for Zeep as long as he can stay alive. May's in a lot of trouble fighting a scout here on Connector. Sam does pistol him down, but gets shot in the back by Mike. Meanwhile, Zeep is standing right next to Marmaloo, but he wasn't aware, and Marmaloo is going to have to back off. Pistol down by Mike. That was a wipe momentarily from Velocity Esports, so good job by the red team there, Meat Market. They are going to be able to hold on to this 66% Uber charge from Zeep. They need to hold on. They can't let him die before he gets it. The point's going to, I guess the cap's going to be taken off before that. Shamu is trying to get onto it. Bear is very low. He's going to get taken down. Shamu and Kryptonite are bombing on this. They force him off, though, and going to get their first round on the board.
That was super smart from them there at the end. Because they, again, delayed the cap until all their players were respawned. So they didn't get trapped in a situation where they had to try to hold the point with no time left. And no players.
I'm being told it is 4-3 for Froyo Tech at the moment, so just keeping you updated on that game. This one, we're still coming to this mid-fight. You Must Mike is getting really aggressive, tried to get the frag on a Shamu, but wasn't able to connect it, and Broking is trying to get in behind. Sam did go down very early. Kryptonite is well taken out by Cheese MacGyver, who went in on the right side. Jarrett's getting pretty aggressive, but they are 2 down, so they gotta be a little bit careful. Marmaloo as well is in behind, and as I say this, Jarrett does get aggressed on by Cheese MacGyver, and they're still pushing forward. Bear's in a lot of trouble, does get taken down by Fruit, and they also find the follow-up frag on a Shamu. It's only Marmaloo now. Can he get what he wants? No, he cannot. Cheese MacGyver takes him down.
Yeah, and Zeep had a pretty decent surf there. Almost ended up surfing into the follow-up rocket, though. I was taking a deep breath, Cornpop, to yell really loudly, but I was robbed.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes, I suppose. Marmaloo is still trying to get aggressive here. They're trying to push forward now at this point, spamming some stickies. Still 100%. I expect them to do some sort of a sack play, and Zeke's gonna pop really early. They want Bear, and that was a really good job by them to get that aggression in. They're getting so many frags. They got the Demo Man as well. Jarrett goes down. Marmalou dies in this, and now watch out though. Zeke is being pushed on by a scout, and just in the nick of time, Mike's gonna find the frag onto Sam. Zeke living with tens of health, so barely surviving. He's done a lot better job so far in this half of keeping his life, but of course they only need one more round. So if they win a single one here, Velocity Gaming will win the match. Broking losing a 1v1 against Marmalou.
Yep. And here comes the wave of Velocity Gaming. They are at uber disadvantage. Jarrett is hurt pretty badly, so that's going to slow things down. But that just gives him a chance to reload. Fruit is going to die, so is Mike. Zeep is perilously close to this fighting. Is maybe possibly going to make it out now. It looks like they've decided to leave Zeep be for the time being. And we'll see an even Uber situation. And Velocity Gaming now also delaying the cap until they get all their spawns. So very nice that they've picked up on that tactic here. And they're now going to own the point for the first time in this round. And they've got to hold it with this Uber.
Yeah, they're going super aggressive here. Cheesy MacGyver's going to die for it as they run forward. Both these Uber charges getting popped very, very early, and now they're trying to back off on the red team. Nice surf by the medic to get out there so he's not in any danger, but there goes one soldier. Fruit does get taken down by Sam, and here comes another bomb in. Looking for something. Broking's not going to get anything. Mike as well dies in this. Now Zeep has only got 2 players on him, a scout and a demo, and May is very low and gets abandoned by his team, so he's going to have to back off. Nobody's pressuring him, though, so he's going to be okay. Similarly, even Uber charges at the moment here. Bear maybe with a slight advantage. Probably not going to matter too much. They're not taking a forward spawn, or a forward hold, which is interesting. They're going to allow Meat Market to have a little bit of breathing room.
And as a result, they get out here, but Cheesy's going to die in stickies. Mike is going to die to pipe. Fruit is going to die. And not any real damage on Bear, and Zeep dies at the end of it. Like, it was the charge of the Light Brigade out there, and they just got wiped out.
Broking trying to get back to the team. He's going to be able to do it. Marmalou may be a little too far forward, but Sam is doing so much work this match. He's gotten the medic a lot. Of course, I mean, a lot of players on this team have gotten the medic a lot, but still, yeah, he's putting a lot of work. I won't be surprised to see him break 200 DPM this match. I hate saying it, but it just might happen. Here comes the soldier bomb in. They're not going to commit to it just yet. The Uber charge is going to come out from Bear. They're running forward. They want to get some aggression off this. Zeep is only at 50%, and he's being chased back into the spawn. He is going to survive. Demo Man not so lucky. He's going to end up going down. Jarrett as well on the other side fell for that, so they are going to keep their medical in, but now Bear's in a little bit of trouble being bombed in. He's not going to get taken down, though. Broking and Fruit both taken down by the 2 soldier pairs, so that was okay. They managed to sack in. They managed to get the force, and now they're going to have Uber ad. Zeep, can you hold on to this?
Yep, the big one now is what happens to Zeep, because they've chosen to come out early. They're going to get Kryptonite right now. Zeep is still okay. In comes the first bomb. They're going to get Sam and Marmadog. And Shamu, who runs in tight. And Zeep goes down into the 20s. But survives.
That was a really good job. Command and conquer by Meat Market. They found a first frag onto a soldier. Then they found the flanking players. Took that fight like 2v5. And now they're in the forward hold position. And Bear's at 90%, so they will have an Uber charge if they choose to use it to push out of this forward hold. We'll see what their plan is. 35 seconds on the blue clock, almost a minute on the red one, and they are just going to pop this Uber charge off, take this exchange. They're going to find the frag on a Fruit, which is really nice for them, because now there's only 2 players here on the right-hand side to defend, and May's gotten very low, does get a fight from Jarrett, goes down from that one. Jarrett does die in return. Broken gets the frag on him. Here was a bomb in by Kryptonite, wants the frag on a Jeep, and does find it onto him. Sam as well was assisting with that one, so 3 players live on each side. We'll see what happens. Bear is one of them, and he's in a bit of a situation with Mike, but Mike's not really hitting these shots. There's a second scout. Cheesy MacGyver's going for something, but pistoled down to the choke by Sam, and now they're still pushing forward. Shamu gets pistoled by Mike, and Mike is still running around here. Finally does get piped by Jarrett. Here comes the bomb, though. This could be really important. No, not going to get it. Bear was too far back. He's under 50 HP, but he is going to live today. 3 players left alive on the side of Meat Market. They have to back off. They do have time ad for now, but they might lose this point here.
Yeah, this should definitely be capped out. And they're actually making their case now to push in. So they're trying to make this take as long as possible now that they have capped. Sam and Cheesy are basically going to trade out here. The health is awful on Meat Market. Mike is going to die now. and Zeep is standing under this cliff with no coverage. I'm very nervous. But they've basically got to push to win it now because there's 13 seconds left. Kryptonite's going to go down, but the Uber comes out. It's going to take out May, but it doesn't find anything else. And then Fruit bombs back, kills Jarrett, and then dies to the Uber. It is now a 3v4, a 3v3, and they're fighting. Mike is going to lose it there, and Zeep's going to die with 97%. And the Uber that would have saved the day is gone. And May's actually going to manage to get a parting blow, but that's GG. And also the end of the game.
Yeah, 3-1 is the final score there, and of course, Froyotech took the last match, their match as well, 4-3. So yeah, some not the worst TF2 I've ever seen. I mean, they certainly had their moments, Meat Market, but I think the medic did a lot better in that second half. Zeep was dying a lot less. I want to see what his deaths were, because they were 16 before. Now Zeep is at, where is it? Now he's at 20, so only 4 deaths that half, Marxist.
Yep, and Bear died more times than 4 in the second half. So
Yep.
that kind of shows you the winning ways. So if you can rack up those med deaths, you'll do a lot better on Viaduct in general, as long as yours isn't also dying that much. So the stats kind of tell that story, but we should mention Shamu. Big Shamu.
Oh, yes.
385 damage per minute with 51 frags. And also, in a very strange twist of fate, Marmadog with 45 frags and only 1 DPM less than his scout.
That's actually, yeah.
We have not seen a game like that out of a soldier player in forever.
Especially with only compared to 28 deaths, like 45 and 28. That's a really nice stat line to have, especially as a roamer on Viaduct. Often, if you see roamers, they're the ones who are going kind of negative KD, less than 1, you know. But 45, 28, 384 DPM. That's really, really nice. On the other side, too, I mean, there's some nice numbers. Broken got 390 DPM, which is actually the highest in the server. Only paired it with 15 frags, so Shamu is still a little more impressive. Top fragger, Cheesy MacGyver on Meat Market, which is to be expected. He was playing really, really well. You must Mike as well. Kind of surprising to me. He got 30 frags. 31 deaths, though. I did see him going deep pretty often.
That tended to be Mike's way. The old Meat Clown teams were pretty aggressive. And they're not there yet as a team. They don't know each other well enough for aggressive play of that style to work on Viaduct against a team that's pretty familiar with each other now by this point over on Velocity, aka Legalized Ranch. And yeah, so great game out of Velocity. They definitely stated their case that they can be contenders for a playoff spot, or at the very least, the not so much ignominy of being the best team that didn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
If worse comes to worse.
Velocity Esports, I think, is going to be a really interesting one to watch throughout the rest of the season, because they've beaten, I think, all the teams below them pretty hard. They've beaten, who did they beat? They beat, obviously, Meat Market today. They beat Fable, and they beat Lunatic. So those are kind of the 3 teams that would be beneath them. Hibbleton is dead, so they don't have to worry about Hibbleton. And then it's basically just the teams above them they have to worry about. And they've had some disappointing losses. Obviously, when they played Faint Gaming, they lost 5-0. Have they played No Mercy? When they played No Mercy, they lost 5-2. So it's going to be tough, and I'm hoping that they can improve throughout this season and get to a point where they are consistently beating teams like No Mercy or Faint Gaming, or at least taking it a little bit closer. But it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull themselves out of the slump, because so far in the season, I've seen them as a lower team, you know, not really in contention for that playoff spot, but they've been so dominant over every team beneath them, and so just like being destroyed by every team above them. It's hard to say where they fit. And so if they improve, they can do really well this season. If they kind of fall apart at this point, they might even lose their 5th place spot.
Yep, and also I should note as we close out on the stats, if you're the betting type, you should go buy your lottery tickets because Sam broke 200 DPM, and that only comes every once in a while. So you should take advantage of it. But I do agree mostly with what you said there, Cornpop, that they're in a weird space, our Velocity Gaming, where they've either got teams that have so far they've kept competitive with for the first half hour, and then after that they can't keep up. And then they just drub every team that's under them in usually pretty short order. So hopefully they'll string it together, and those those 3 or 4 pivotal mistakes in a match that result in a 5-2 will fade away.
Yeah, and I think that's all we have for tonight, Marxist. There are more casts tomorrow, one more cast tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. That one will be No Mercy versus EVL Gaming. So those are two of the playoff spot currently holding teams. It's gonna be interesting. Um, No Mercy, obviously they beat like Feint. It's this top four that they go around in like a circle, right? I guess the circle was broken just today as Ferrotech beat Feints, but it's kind of like Team A beat Team B, which beat Team C, which beat Team D, which beat Team A, right? So I think that one's gonna be really close. The Gnomes taking on EVL. In my eyes, kind of the second and third place team, but obviously it's really hard to tell with Feint Gaming. They're another weird team where it's hard to say where they fit. Because they go like they take really close games off EVL and Froyo, and then they like get rolled by No Mercy, which is not as good of a team as EVL or Froyo. So I have no idea. Invite's weird, Marxist.
Yep, and it should be an interesting game. So that will be
Yes,
me and Ro, and
and
we'll be
Azazel.
here for you. Yeah, Azazel will be bringing on the cam. We gotta shout out to Nicell tonight, who got thrown around from cast that didn't happen to cast that didn't happen at least 4 times, and had to reset everything, and was a really good sport about all of it. So shout outs to Nicell in closing.
Yes, and with that, my name has been Cornpop. As we've just said, Nice has been our producer, and Marcus has been in the call with me. So thank you so much for watching. Again, tomorrow, at 11 o'clock Eastern, will be No Mercy versus Faint or EVL Gaming. See you later.
I was rearranging.